Welcome back to another episode of our Wyckoff Crypto discussion. As usual, today we will explore the crypto market through the lens of the Wyckoff method. This information is for educational purpose and is not an investment recommendation. Please stop the video and read the disclaimer. So let's start with our Bitcoin update. As we have anticipated in the last episode, Bitcoin is still in the middle of a large consolidation. The composite operator has took profits after an impressive bull run and now is sitting on his hands looking for lower prices. As we go down, weak hands that have participated in the late stage of the bull run will capitulate, providing liquidity to strong hands and big institutions. In the short term, we want to see how much demand will come in around the 30.27 level. In the meanwhile, the altcoin market is consolidating in the structure of a larger uptrend that has just begun in January. The current consolidation does not show distributional signs, but we have to keep in mind that Bitcoin is the largest capitalization crypto. So even when it's lagging, a sell-off can trigger short-term liquidations in the altcoin market. A spring of the support on the mid-perp index would be another opportunity to the long side in the context of the uptrend that has just started. And as you can see here, I'm using the mid-perp index as a proxy of the altcoin market. However, the mid-perp is kind of mixed bag of extremely oversold and overbought assets. So as usual, we will discuss the whole market more in depth in the next slides. But before that, Roman, what do you think about this picture here?
Yeah, well, definitely Bitcoin is done for a while. I mean, we kind of called it right here in this area that, a change of behavior is coming. A change of behavior has come. A change of behavior is something that is happening in a different way. The price is behaving different. The volume is behaving different. And that was the call. So we said that we're changing the environment into a trading range. And it's a little bit hard to even believe at that point that, yeah, we're going to go into the trading range. But as we go into the next rally, we see all of the elements of the trading range unfolding. So what are those? A rally into the attempt to retest the resistance that is failing. So a failed rally that suggests a retest of the support. So right away, we have a confirmation that we're in the trading range environment. That's number one. Secondly, we said that there is still some demand that is coming in. We see those demand tails. We see a lot of volume signature, those volume spikes. And this is the highest volume signature, suggests that demand is there. And this is also very logical. Just think about all of the people who did not participate on the way up or who participated, made some money, maybe gave up some money on this change of behavior reaction, and they're coming in and they're saying, I still want to participate. Plus, a lot of institutions really, really want to be in this space and they need more liquidity to get into the position. What's important is the result of that demand. The result of that demand is the lower high. And if we would compare it to the previous instance where, on this occasion right here, we called for a change of behavior that should lead to some kind of consolidating action, and it happened. And we also commented on the demand characteristics. But if you would look more, more carefully on the structures, you would see that this rally actually produced a higher high, which became an upthrust as a minor sign of strength in the structure, and that suggested continuation to the upside. This is a lower high, and this actually suggests a completely different structure that we might have. It suggests that duration of the range might increase. It suggests that we might have a potential lower low in the structure. And we already could see how this attempt to rally was so, small, insignificant, and that suggested the reaction. So today's price action was actually very easy to predict. And then in terms of the mid caps, yeah, definitely an outperformance. But, we've talked about this rotation, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. So let's just move on and go to the next chart. Alessio, on the intraday level, what do you see with the Bitcoin?
So After first momentum move off the 30,000 low, last week momentum to the upside has deteriorated. So we see here lower highs on decreasing volume, suggesting that demand was tired. So price has continued to fall, looking for bids and support, and now we are testing the 30,000 level. So the last volume spike suggests that some demand is present here, and this is a logic point because we are on the support line of this local downtrend. But we suspect that this is just short-term demand. We can revisit lower prices, shake out weekends, trigger more liquidations. So I think that intraday traders have to keep in mind that we are still in phase B, and Bitcoin has low institutional presence at this point because money has rotated into the altcoin market. And generally, in these market conditions, we can see both volatility, whipsaws, chopping, and so on. Your thoughts, Roman?
Yeah, so the background is extremely important. What's the background? This is the background right here. This is this decline on the increasing supply signature. So you go from there. So lower high, as Alessio said, another lower high, suggesting the reaction. We're going to the reaction, so we're stopping here. So then what? What kind of potential structures we could have? Well, as Alessio has said, and this is absolutely correct, we are in the potential phase B. Phase B could have ups and downs. So here, intraday traders are going to be at the advantageous position relative to, let's say, somebody who's the long-term investor. The long-term investor should have taken the profits at the top and on the way down, or on the way up to the secondary test. Those are the three spots where we usually would like to take those profits for the efficiency optimization purposes. So thinking about phase B, what could we have? Could we have a rally? Yes, we could have a rally, and maybe probably retest of the lows. Could we have a continuation to the downside? Yes, we could. Just going revisiting this high and then kind of sliding back into the lower low. So you could definitely mismanage a lot the price movement in the trading range structure. My advice here is just to either go to the lower time frame, or if you're a long-term campaign trader, you should have taken some profits, and now, or maybe opportunistically, you could take some profits, a little bit later on in the same area, and then just wait for the reconfirmation of the reaccumulation. Wait for the absorption of whatever supply has come at this point. And then, what other thoughts? And I had another thought here, Alessia, and I kind of lost it. About the structure. Okay, well, it will come to me. Yes. So let's talk about behaviors, because it is very important to understand how the behaviors of market participants unfold at this point of time. So think about all of the people who got in, and they're enjoying this profitability, and then the sharp reaction comes like this, right? So from 42 to almost 30. So what's happening in their minds? They're basically saying like, I wish I would have sold somewhere here. If the price comes back, I'm gonna sell. So they do, and that again puts the pressure, on the structure itself. Imagine what happens, or what would happen rather, if the price makes a lower low. How would they behave? How would the remaining buyers behave, especially weak hands? Most likely, it's going to trigger some kind of liquidity event, and there's going to be a lot of volatility here. And I think this is going to be a very important point here if it indeed happens. And if it does, I would say that institutions are going to be aggressive like they were here, and will bring the price back. But at what cost? What kind of character of that rally we're going to have? So just keep that in mind. Okay, Alessio?
So here you can see the main altcoin indexes. So the DeFi index was leading, and almost all the assets that we covered in the last weeks have performed very, very well. Now this bar is a change of behavior that suggests a trading range. So I would like to see here some rotation from the DeFi index to other indexes. And I think it will be very important in the next days to see if we can hold the blue levels on the right side of the chart. If price is able to rest here without penetrating the support, this could be a very, very constructive price action. If price fails here, we could revisit the support and even a spring. I would love to see an automatic rally in the weekend on the FA index when the selling pressure is lower, and then some rotation to other assets. What do you think about this scenario, Mark?
Yeah, I like this, and I mean, like, again, Alessia and I, we've been talking about the rotation for so long. Well, here it is unfolding. This is it, and obviously, again, the leadership characteristics, as Alessia has mentioned or hinted to, are going to be defined by this reaction. So as Bitcoin now has some outflow of money, the money has to go somewhere to some other areas. So where do they go? Does it go? Well, it goes to other assets. And again, this reaction, how is it going to unfold? So that's the key for us right now.
So have a market leader, beautiful bull run from $40 to 240. But look at this PNF chart that we see here. We have just hit the intermediate target, and there is a there is a bigger count here. So there is higher to go, but we need to consolidate. So I think that the most useful technique here is the confirming count technique for PNF chart. So check out Bruce's blog, and I think that this is a very, very interesting technique that we can use right away in the chart. It's so beautiful. Your remarks, Roman?
Yeah, definitely. Check out Bruce's videos on the PNF and how to time the potential trading range. I will absolutely agree with Alessia. This is a construction of the trading range 101. This is where we are going into the climactic run, into the stop in action, and then we're experiencing a change of behavior bar. And what's important here is that there's not a lot of volume signature here, which is very, very constructive. It just tells us that, well, not that much selling. There was some hidden selling on this bar right here, but the rest is just an ease of movement to the downside. And here's your trading range. And we know how the trading range is going to unfold. So automatic reaction, secondary test, phase A, then phase B, then phase C, and so on and so forth. So you just have to know all of that, how the trading range unfolds, and then you could anticipate. And that ties up really nicely with the creation of additional columns that would, have some kind of timing element as to when the price is ready to move out.
So here we can see rotation to other assets. So institutions are looking for very oversold assets. In this case, CRV is performing very, very well. So we see here backing up action, and even today, prices we see an upward while the market is going down. So a lot of strength here, Roman.
Yeah, I love this chart a lot. But at the same time, Alessio, is always, I'm like thinking, how do you trade this, right? So this is a daily chart. So I would go maybe to the intraday structure and just see if I'm going to have some kind of high or low reaction right here relative to this reaction, and then the resumption. So this could be a very interesting spot. I just like how the price moves here, because here the price moves in a little bit different way, right? So we see a lot of tails at the top, at the bottom. That usually gives us an idea that, this asset is still not like fully liquid, but still the moves are just very nice here.
So Chainlink, we see where price is falling, but the volume is very low. So supply signature is decreasing. I think that Chainlink is providing us another point of entry for the long term. So basically here we want to see at least a retest of the high of the last high around $16, and then we could be ready to go up and break this long-term consolidation. But I think it's very,
Mhm.
I think it's a very constructive chart. So
Yeah, very constructive chart. I would be thinking that with all this all-time high, how we overcame it. So it is important to note how the price behaves around all-time highs. Does it overcome it? Does it just touch it? And what kind of reaction we have afterwards? So overcoming the all-time high obviously is a bullish sign, and we have here, you know, a constructive two progressive closes around that resistance or above it. So definitely a leadership character. And look, how Bitcoin is just deteriorating, and Chainlink is actually, having this influx of money that comes in. This whole area right here suggests that, yeah, they are buying right now. Before that, it was all about Bitcoin. Now it's in other assets as well. So you have to pay attention to that.
So VeChain, this is a small cap, very low price asset, but look at this huge causality that we have. Very impressive. And I will show the PNF chart with a swing and long-term causality in the next episodes. But look at what beautiful sign of strength we see here. And now we are trying to break out this consolidation. A lot of relative strength compared to Bitcoin. I would like to see another test right here, maybe higher low, and then we are ready to go. So very interesting chart.
Yeah, I love this chart as well. You kind of clearly see, and this is why I love the crypto markets right now. Whenever the markets are less liquid and you have institutional presence in those markets, their footsteps are much more visible. What do I mean by that? Look at the volume signature. This is a definite increase and substantial increase of the volume and participation in general from the previous area. So you know that something else is going on. And you don't even have to have the volume signature to see this. If you look through the price action, you could see how the price texture starts to differ and becomes of a different quality. Just the price moves differently. Fuller bars, more movement, more volatility. So that should tell you, if you don't look at the volume signature, that institutions are there. They're starting to participate. And this is where we would define the timing for us, with the specific price structure, to start coming into the position. I absolutely love that that element of outperformance right here that is basically suggestive that we're still at the beginning of the move. So this is like two sign of strength that we're having right here. So yeah, Alicia, very interesting, current asset for us to look at, and PNF just looks, also extremely interesting. All right, well, that's it, Alicia. Your final thoughts?
So the main idea for this week is that we want to time all these opportunities to long side with the market. So the market, we want to see the market showing clear reversal of the low, and then we can prepare ourselves for this bull run that have big causalities. And that's it.
All right, sounds great. Well, thank you guys for watching. As usual, thank you for all of your comments, by the way, on YouTube and on Twitter. So we appreciate this.